Good morning, Ramon. How are you today?
Mindy Hahn, the Midwest Premier Sports handicapper, wearing that Chiefs hat. Who saw it coming?
I did not. And I'm wearing a donkey shirt too. I don't know if you could see. Yeah. But yeah, so I did this whole, video because I thought I was going to be, cool and have this really good, awesome pick for the folks out there. And it totally tanked. Who would have thought that the Chiefs would have had such an easy time with that defense? They only allowed, 16 points to other opponents and then, gave up almost 50 to those Chiefs. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, I only bring it up just because it was one of our two losers for the Steam team. And when I say the Steam team, I don't mean just you and me. I mean everyone that joins us every day and
Right.
encourages us and agrees with us or disagrees. I mean, look, I've pulled the trigger on a play or two just by going off somewhere.
Right.
We try to give a play on every game, but if someone says something in the chat, I'm not really having a feel for the a particular game. Now, when we go with our consensus plays, we're always confident, and that's what we had every reason to be yesterday, Mindy. We basically look. We had the bad day. We erased that and then some with our current streak right now with the Morning Steam team and our performance yesterday. Let's just go over. We can talk about the card, but let's just go over to our website, tonyspicks.com, because I just want to show you. I know you already know, but I want to show you how we did with our Team Steam plays yesterday, and everyone that was here, of course, gets these plays for free. These are our consensus plays over at tonyspicks.com. Mindy, 8-2 on Sunday with our plays. Great job. If you look at the leaderboard, I won't say that you and I are the only two people that didn't make the leaderboard and say we saved all of our best plays
Right.
for Team Steam because I like to think that all of the plays that I'm submitting with either my personal service, your personal service, or these Steam plays, are our best plays. And well, it just so happened yesterday that Team Steam went 8-2. So hope everyone cashed. Let everyone come in here and see how they did. But great job,
Yeah.
partner.
Well, thank you. You as well. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just kind of hitting on all cylinders, especially, with NHL and NBA, which is, some of your, specialties. I think I've gotten better over the years. But yeah, we're doing okay so far. So far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, look, NFL 26-2. That's no joke because this is the NFL. What everyone says, oh, the NFL is the toughest sport to beat. Well, right now we're destroying it at a 70% pace, Mindy, right there.
Right.
So far with our Team Steam picks. Uh, what can you say? Good job, man. Good job, Mindy Hahn. 26-12 in the National Football League. We had another solid performance yesterday. I'll take a look as well. And also, look, good off to a very good start in the NBA and NHL. Also, you mentioned 17-4. We seem to excel in those sports. So, putting our heads together, as you say, right here in our
That's right.
profiles. We'll see what we come up with today. But look at some of these plays from last night. Pittsburgh, I don't want to say it was never in doubt, but
It was
Miami was
never really in doubt.
all
Well, I mean,
very
it could have went a couple different ways there if there was, better play on defense. I mean, still knocking down balls instead of, catching interceptions. That's, a lot to be said. They're just in the right spot at the right time. Unfortunately, Kenny Pickett had a couple good chances there to get in and get that win. I think he's shown a lot of improvement, a lot of toughness. I think he's going to be really good in the league.
Pittsburgh got the number. So again, what we say sometimes is that's the team that did the better job. That's why we played them. Easy winner for us. Wizards, Cavs over. How about the Sharks? I whined about it. I wanted to do it so bad. I almost didn't do it because of the price, but you sold me on the series history. I was already feeling it for the Sharks, but just was like, oh boy, plus $1.05. We deserve better. Easy
Right.
winner. 3-0.
I know. And then I kept on thinking Ramon wanted that money line on that Blue Jackets game, huh?
Yeah, great money line play. Hope someone sprinkled that plus $2 money line, whatever it was. Easy winner there. And there's the Niners. We've already, we can complain about it, but
As we should.
they were the team that fell flat, and so we joined them as just one of our two losses. We destroyed that Chargers over. Also, there's our other loss, Green Bay. That was close. I don't have any problem with the way that one unfolded, like our other loss. And then Giants, Jacksonville. We had to hang on there at the end. Jacksonville got stuffed at the one on a pass.
Can you believe it?
Turned out to be a pretty fun game, but the Giants continue to remain one of the best stories in the league. They're not elite, but they've done a great job so far. So,
100%.
anyways, there we are, Mindy, at the top right now of the leaderboards. I'll leave the week up there since I'm up there. I split the card yesterday myself, but Team Steam also over the last 7 days, 37-25, up close to a dime for $100 bettors. That's pretty darn good. If you're a subscriber, you might even be playing more than that. So pretty darn good week, and we're ready to start a full official week, or I don't know, Monday Night Football, end of the week.
Yeah, right.
Gambling land.
Which way you want to look at it?
As we get ready for Monday Night Football, we'll preview Monday Night Football. There's an 8-game basketball card, 6 games in hockey, and we'll look ahead to the first 5 games of the week in college football. So, Butterscotch. It's nice to have Butterscotch here. I'm so glad these comments are making me so excited when we see people.
I know, it's nice when you guys
feel
chat.
like we're like a real morning show, Mindy. We are, right?
Of the imposter morning show, right?
Yeah. Well, again, we are the earliest. We'll try to be the earliest on YouTube. I think that was my little plan going in. I mean,
and see, look how it worked out yesterday, right? Because we were, in with the Steelers game, live on the show when someone wrote in and said, "Hey, right now with the Steelers, you can get 8.5." We're like, "What? 8.5?" And sure enough, right? We go out there, we put our pick in, we get +9. 10 minutes later, back at 7. And that was all probably because of our help with our, morning steam crew out there in the chat. So
yeah, and I didn't have that particular line in any of my books available. Again, we got it at +9 at -125. Paid some juice there, no doubt about it. Didn't need it in the end, but it was good to have, just in case. Again, we've got some great commenters in our chat, and man, like I said, I just feel like everyone's a part of Team Steam here with us, not just us making the picks, but everyone giving us their comments and input. And that's what we try to do is, if you say something in time on the preview, we pop it up there on the screen, and then you're on the commenters on the little video, when we make the smaller videos that go up on YouTube that, a couple hundred people are watching those too. And your comment can be in those. I don't know if that's a big deal, but when I was back before I came to Tony's Picks and I was a YouTube watcher, watching all the great handicappers, I was always in the chat typing in my opinions and everything. And that kind of got me started in this business, Mindy, when a couple of top YouTubers were saying, "Hey, Ramon always has great comments, bring him on the show." And then I was like hooked on this stuff. And now here I am with you 6 days a week picking winners over at Tony'sPicks.com when I thought I was washed up.
Right. I know the ebbs and flows of handicapping. I know we always have to kind of remember that this is a game of failure ultimately, and that we are going to have those bad days. And it's, what we can do over the long haul to be, successful. Just like, a batting average, right? 300 is pretty darn good. And you're still not getting on base 7 times out of 10. So yeah, it's one of those things that you have to keep it in perspective sometimes. Like yesterday, I had a really bad morning in NFL, but killed it in hockey and NBA. So by the time we get to that afternoon show today, where you guys can come back and see us again on Daily Pick Show, I'll be back on the leaderboard. So yeah, it's all a little bit of perspective there.
Well, one thing I'm not going to do, if you're equating our handicapping prowess to being at bat in baseball, is I'm not going to try to uh, drag bunt, sacrifice bunt, or lay down a bunt with one out at
Why,
the top of the ninth inning
Ramon?
in the
You have a
National
runner
League.
on second. Why do you need to move anyone?
All
What's
right.
going on?
That's okay.
What's going
But
on with that?
anyways, head on over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the All Cappers tab to get signed up. There you'll find all of our profiles there on the page, and you can click in and read about uh, how everyone's doing over at Tony's Picks. Uh, Top cappers there right now, and I'll just take a look at my record from yesterday was just 4-4, but I'm still pretty hot over there at Tony's Picks. So, all right, Mindy, let's cut to the chase and start to get working on the week. No baseball to cover. We're set for the World Series, baby. Okay, I whined about my Padres enough. In pitching to Bryce Harper, not always the best idea, but
Perhaps.
maybe you can. I don't know if you have a prediction or a prognostication. We'll talk about the individual game when we get to the World Series, but the Astros are about $1.70 to win the World Series. How do you feel about the World Series?
I feel like the Phillies are going to give them a real chance, only because the bats are so hot right now. Um, and if it wasn't for a couple, key hits yesterday versus the Yankees would have pulled that one off. That's I know it's going to be basically, I think, extremely good pitching via the Astros versus hitting from the Phillies. And can the Phillies pitching just be good enough? With a scrappy team. I think the Phillies have a really good shot. That's kind of where I want to lean right now.
Well, one thing I do regret is picking the Yankees at all in a premium play in Game 3, and then even
Well, I
giving
did
them
the
out
same, right? And then
in Game
yesterday I came
4.
back and did a first 5 with Nestor Cortez, and he wound up pushing because they gave up the 3-run home run. And that's what it's been a lot of, is those like kind of just key hits going a certain way. I also took Darvish too, because I thought Darvish would have a pretty good shot first 5, but I was really unsure if they could actually win that game outright. Like I said, I was really indecisive with how that one would go based off of trends with pitching via if we just looked at the playoff pitching, or if we looked at season long overall broad scope of that game. So so those didn't exactly go my way for handicapping, because I lost with Darvish and only pushed. But otherwise, I thought it was, a decent series. But like you said, it's kind of suspect with, some of the coaching calls that perhaps were in play, probably in both of those games.
Yeah, and again, I tried to sell the fact that I think the Padres, their success I'll say it, their success now this season. For a time, they were underachieving. They obviously finished the season very, very strong, exceeded expectations. I give a lot of the credit to the coaching staff and the general manager as well for that personnel. The personnel that totally underachieved after they were acquired, and then they actually performed a little bit in the postseason. But yeah, that was disappointing the way they fizzled there at the end. But again, I think it was a lot to do with the coaching as far as them getting a bit on a roll. So a little bit of give and take there with the Padres. As far as the Astros and the Yankees, my regret is the fact that the Astros dominate the Yankees, and that should have been obvious to me. They won 8 out of the 10 meetings this season, and Mindy, one stat shows that the Astros led the games in 463 plate appearances. They were leading in the games, while the Yankees led the games in 7 plate appearances.
Oh my
So
God.
with Astros at the
Wow.
plate 460 some odd times, they were ahead in games. When Yankees were ahead in games, there were only 7 batters the entire season. Of course, remember the Yankees, their 2 wins over the Astros were ninth inning blowups against the Astro bullpen. Other than that, they really never led the season at all. They never led the games at all until the ninth inning of 2 particular games. So
Yeah.
Not a great, maybe should have been on that, especially, hey, if Mattress Mac is going to have all, millions of dollars and put all that furniture on the line, maybe we should have as well. So it doesn't look like that all that money throughout some of the casinos and all that is factored into the line. 170 seems like a pretty fair price. So, anyways,
Yeah.
just some nice comments from the chat in there about the series as well. So, we got a few days just to talk about it and figure out what's going on with that. But again, we'll get to the real stuff here today. All right. I don't know. I didn't know if you picked one or the other. Maybe we could revisit that. I'm not sure either. I know what you're saying. Phillies are live, and I certainly have to agree. But I have so many concerns about the discrepancy of the two teams' bullpens. It seems like
100%. Yes. And they showed that again kind of yesterday, a couple wild pitches, but again, weather related. I'm not sure why they even played that game ultimately. It was sloppy and muddy, and this is going to the World Series, and you've decided to play in that type of weather. I mean, those two pass balls could have dictated, the way that game went,
Yeah.
and that would have been a shame if that's how that would have broke down ultimately too.
Yeah, pitches be wild and
Can't hang on to the ball.
well, and I was excited at that point. Unlike the game where the Padres seemed to give it up in that high scoring game, I thought I was more enthused yesterday in that game. It just look, I mean, I'm not saying I touted Bryce Harper. That nobody touts Bryce Harper, but at the beginning of the series, I had said, don't forget about super. I don't know how to word it. I mean, anybody can say Bryce Harper, right? But I mean, he came in all of a sudden super red hot, and
Right.
people are saying, hey, why did he even see pitches there? You're not maybe going to put that key run on base with him, but maybe if you got a good enough bullpen, maybe you do.
Right.
So, okay, let's get to tonight's action.
All right, here we go.
With Monday Night Football, the Bears and the Patriots. Well, it's a great game if it was back in the 80s. But tonight could be a game that resembles the 80s, but the Patriots a big favorite here. We still don't know who's going to quarterback the Patriots tonight. Does it really matter? Do you kind of put the two quarterbacks on equal terms already, Mindy? And boy, is the total high? What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I consider them, everything equal, or maybe I should, and it might just take, Mac a couple series maybe to get back in the swing of things. Kind of like with Dak, right? I think it took him a little bit kind of to get back into it. Luckily, he was playing a Lions team that, kind of imploded there at the end. But I think, these guys are all professionals. I think they'll be okay. I'm not sure quite yet what the Bears have planned, if they're going to try to scheme something else with, Justin Fields right now. Because the way I see it is that they just need to get him into open space, not be a, drop back passer, that type of thing. But so basically where I'm going is I'm going to take the Patriots today in this one. 4-0 all time at home versus the Bears. They are outscoring Chicago by an average of 20 points per game in that time frame. It's like almost one of the largest margins of victories that a coach can have versus an opposing team there. Patriots also won their last two games by 29 points and 23 points. I also think it's interesting that the Bears here, they have this plus 24-point differential in the third quarter. But other than that, if you take the rest, their point differential is minus 49 here. I think the Bears can probably put up a couple scores, I'm going to say, in this one. But they are last in the league of time of possession, and they really have to do something in order to, kind of create some first downs, move the ball around a little bit, short passes. It seems like we want to go all or nothing with the Bears too. I think they're probably going to be in trouble with this Patriots defense. I look for a couple turnovers also. So, yeah, I like the Patriots -9.
Big number. We could have laid, less, obviously, but it's here. It's Monday. This is how we do it. You said that you think the Bears could put up a couple of scores. Do you mean like 2 field goals or you mean 2 touchdowns?
I mean, like 2 touchdowns.
28-14, does that seem reasonable?
I think that seems reasonable. Yes.
That's exactly what I wrote down here. 28-14. Let's go on a consensus play. Look, Patriots have won the last 2, right? The Bears, in those 3 straight losses, they have averaged close to 14 points, no doubt about it, including the stupid game against Washington, right, when it was 12-7. So look, Patriots blasted Cleveland. I mean, they put up a big number against Cleveland. Now, Cleveland, every reputation is, they still have a defense. They don't really have that defense anymore. The Patriots made them look silly, and that's a Patriots team where, we like Zappy. Everybody likes Zappy at this point. If Mac's ready, Mac's going to play, but either guy can go. And 28-14. That seems like kind of a high-scoring game compared to that total. Actually, when I don't know, I think a lot of the cappers today are going to be looking to take the under here. I actually think the number's probably right on with the total. I'm not sure I'm even thrilled about the total here. My instinct would tell me to go under, but I do think it could be somewhere around 28-14. So that would keep me over in the game.
Right.
So we got a consensus play on Monday Night Football, though, Mindy. And let's get some great comments from Butterscotch. And we do, I got to like Chicago's running game, but against the Patriots, how is that going to fare, right? They got to keep it low, no doubt about it. They're going to have to keep the Patriots off the scoreboard. Patriots aren't explosive. Calling for 4 touchdowns is kind of that is my stretch or reach, if you will, to get this number, Mindy. We got to get there by double digits.
Right.
So Butterscotch not technically with us. I think he's given the Bears a chance. And I wish we were laying just a little bit less, but I
think it opened at like 6.5, something like that. So that would be a bit better if we could get that under a touchdown.
Yeah, the look ahead line was definitely 6.5, no doubt about it. But my window did call for upwards of 2 touchdowns, meaning 12 points, not necessarily 14. But my window more leans towards to the Patriots side right now for sure. So we're gonna do it, Patriots tonight. Weather issues too, Mindy. Don't forget, big chance of rain in this one. Not totally stiff wind, but that unique stadium. So Blake's coming in with us on the Patriots for Team Steam, and Team's on a good roll right now. So let's take the Patriots tonight on Monday Night Football as our consensus premium play.
Consensus play.
All right, so over the National Basketball Association, I thought we did pretty good yesterday with our consensus plays. We already talked about our winners in the NBA yesterday. So why not keep rolling? Because we've got a big card today. I'm going to call up the lines real quick while we're chatting because
they've probably all changed.
Well, not so much that, but several of the games did have real overnight lines were pulled down a little bit. So, but they are some interesting lines here. And yeah, I do show a move. What I do is I had these lines typed in from about 2 hours ago. So what you're going to see in real time when I update it is moves according to some of the top books I'm using on one of the major line services. So this one has moved higher, Mindy, up to 28.5 off that 227 between the Pacers and the Sixers, but the line is definitely Philadelphia minus 12.
Yeah, I mean, of course that line is going up, isn't it? Because the over, it's 6-1 in the last 7 meetings, over to the 9-3 in the last 12 in versus those Pacers. Indiana, they're 4th in scoring, 5th in shooting the 3. I like the over total 228.5.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and 6 of the last 7 in the series have gone over. Just concern Philadelphia. I mean, gotta be concerns. As Doc Rivers on the hot seat right now, this early in the season at the 0-2 record, the Pacers, it looks pretty good so far with them. Well, I won't say pretty good so far, but getting double digits right now against a Sixers team that seems to be starting slow, whatever's going on. Pacers have done pretty well against the Sixers too. They've covered 4 straight against them. So uh, I'm gonna have to lean towards Indiana here, getting the points for my free pick. I mean, Philadelphia this might be a battle just to win this game against Indiana at this point. So Mindy's going on the over, and I've got the Pacers. All right, Magic and the Knicks. The Knicks are favored in this one by 7.5. Totals ticked up to 220.
Well, good. I like the 220 a little bit better because I'm going to take the under in this one. It's 6-2-1 between these two squads the last 9 meetings. Under 7-1-1 in New York City. Magic, they're 21st in points scored. Both teams have trouble shooting the three. Plus, the Magic just has a ton of turnovers per game. So when they do that, it can either lead to first chance points, but a lot of times that change of possession also takes time off the clock. I like the under in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Knicks have gone over in both of their first 2 games, but this has been an under series. As far as the last 10 games or so at least, kind of trending to the under. Orlando usually does pretty well in the series against the Knicks. Usually they're getting too many points. I don't know right now, though. Orlando has not looked sharp in losing those first 3 games, but I'm going to get on board with you there. I know that I don't know if our team's team might wait a little bit. We're going to play it right away here, Mindy, and go under 220. Maybe we might still tick up, but we got to take it when we can and get our play out to everyone. And let's do it. We've got a consensus play. Our NBA's, everything's been pretty strong of late. So Airplane Boop, Team Steam.
Airplane Boop is back in the house.
Yep. Ron Elston, great. Team Steam, looks like we're ready to go on this one. Orlando and New York under. We'll never blame you guys for we'll take the responsibility for the losses. We'll share in the credit in the wins. How about that? So there's a play over there. And just to remind everyone, so we on our consensus plays, we post them over at Tony'sPicks.com. If you missed them on the show, you don't have time to go back and look at all the videos. We do sell them over at Tony'sPicks.com. Might cost you a little something, but we just package them up real conveniently if you just need them for one day, usually $30 or so. We want you to have fun and play a serious amount, but not get too crazy. But still, when we're hot, maybe get a little crazy when we're hot like this. But the plays are always available, and if you wanted to, you can subscribe to a long-term package and never miss the consensus plays that Minnie and I. At this point, we're going to continue to keep doing this show at least 6 days a week until they drag us off the air. So, all right, there it is. Consensus play, Orlando and New York to go under 220. Consensus premium play. All right, Toronto and Miami now. Miami is up to a 3.5-point favorite. This total is dropping rapidly, Mindy. 214.5.
Interesting. Because I kind of like the over in this one. Over 4-1 the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Otherwise these two are those notorious under squads. I have an actual lean. I only have it by a basket. 2.2 points is what I have, but I'm going to take a little tick over here today in this one.
Well, again, even if you did wait a little bit, you can't wait, but we're giving it on the show right now. But if anybody wants to wait a little bit, and that's a 3-point move in just the last 90 minutes to 2 hours. So I don't know. That's the morning steam. You don't see, we give you these moves, and yes, there could be movement throughout the day, but more likely these are going to be the biggest moves of the day that we're giving you, because that's when the biggest moves really do happen. The early market settles, and people will say, "Oh well, the limits aren't high in the early. Well, that's exactly the point.
They'll
Books
increase the
open them
limits.
at smaller limits so they can take serious enough action to make sure that they're putting up a good number once they start to raise those limits. So 214.5 right now. Both teams 1-2, but Toronto 2-1 against the spread so far. Mindy, and Miami has not looked good against the numbers so far, right? They've failed all three of those games, even in their win. Series, like you said, they've gone over in 4 straight in the series. So I could see that there. I just respect the move too much here. I don't know if I can get on it now. Missing those points, it might just be a private play for me. I probably won't give it out because of 3 points in a move. But for me, I'm going to end up with Toronto here. Like I said, 1-2 straight up, but 2-1 against the spread against Miami not covering anything right now, and I'm getting an extra half a point. Give me the Raptors at the Heat. Me and Boop are together on that one. Me and Boop have a consensus play. Spurs at Timberwolves. This one's up to 9.5. The total is up to 233.5.
Yeah, these Spurs, they're what, 1-7 against the spread in the last 8 meetings, 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 in Minnesota. But if you look at the Spurs, they're 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 games following an ATS win. I'm going to take the Spurs and the plus points here in this one.
Now, okay. Mindy is on the Spurs there. Yeah, for me, I'm going to be. I'm going to give it. I like the over. I'm probably not going to give it out as a premium, so I might as well give it out as a free play here at 233.5. I mean, it could be. It could go 240. I don't know, but let's just lock it in now. Let's just lock for me anyway. Let's just lock it in now. Crush. I don't know if you've been over on this Minnesota game, but that's the way I feel about it. 233.5 now, and it's been a serious mover. Probably should be a premium, Mindy. I really think this one is going to be kind of wacky, if you know what I mean.
Wacky.
The high score of this, I don't know what the high score is.
I'm going to put a star by the kind of wacky game here tonight.
Come back to me. I don't know what the highest score of the season has been so far. I'm trying to just think through my brain a little bit if I remember any, one.
There's 135s, 138.
Was there a one? Okay. I'm putting this one up there, though. I'm putting this one up there. Yep. Crush Diamond says over as well, but I'm liking this one. Take the alternative. How about that? I'm going to recommend also the alternative total here in this one. If you can get, over 240 or something at, plus 160, or that might even be higher.
Ramon saying this game's going in what?
260. I am.
Yeah.
So. Like I said, it'd probably be a premium for me, but I'm just the thing I'm worried about with the side. Look, I like San Antonio. They've won 2 road games so far, including doing the job right in that game. They just won that road game, but again, it does bother me. They're 1-7 against the spread the last 8 meetings against Minnesota, so. It's an over series, though. I like San Antonio, Mindy, but I like the over. I'm going to take over.
Like that one better. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Okay, Nets and Grizzlies here. Let's take a look, see if there's been. I'm showing the Grizzlies 1.5, and this one is going up 4 points so far. 232.5. These are real line move, folks. I mean, I'm not. A couple of these might have been off the board a little bit, but early numbers that were seen, not anything that I had a chance to bet into.
Yeah, the Nets, they're 0-6 in the last 6 versus the Grizzlies. Nets are right now, they're 21st in scoring, 30th in 3-pointers made. Oh, man, they turn the ball over a lot. I'm going to go Grizzlies -1.5 in this.
Yeah, I'm going to. I do like the Grizzlies here. I do like the Grizzlies here, but I like the fact this total is going over. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go under in this game with Brooklyn and Memphis. Look, I know it's a over series. I know Memphis has gone 3-0 to the over, but now I think they're getting a little bit, unlike the last game where I was all excited and giddy. I prefer the under here. I think this one's gone a little bit too high. Memphis, they're 2-1, but they are 0-3 against the spread. That's kind of weird. But they have done very, very well against Brooklyn, even though they don't face her quite as frequently. It's been a good series for Memphis. I'm going to go under as my play here on the show with Brooklyn and Memphis. Celtics and the Bulls. The Celtics are up to a 6-point favorite. The total, another one that's gone up, 226.
Well, this one I like that it's going up. The under 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. Under is 19-7-1 in the last 26 in Chicago. And that would be head to head between these two teams. Big under trend on this one. Bulls are also 27th in points scored right now. They're 42% in field goal percentage, 29th in the league in 3-point percentage. So a little bit struggling offensively, even though they've had some decent ATS wins out there also. But yeah, I like the under in this one.
You're getting a great number, that's for sure. I mean, this one opened as low as 221.5, and who knows if it'll go higher. I don't know. Mindy's got to take it now. We're only here right at this moment on the show. So 226, though, pretty good number, right? Boston 2-0 against 2-0 straight up, both coming on the road so far. The teams are a combined 4-2 to the over, but that series, like you said, Mindy, now 2-5 to the under. Last 7 been a good series for Chicago. They've covered 4 out of the last 5. I'm getting now 6 points with Boston, 6 points from Boston. I like the Bulls in this one. I also like them a little bit on the money line. I'll recommend on the show here, though, that you take the Bulls plus 6 points on that nice rise in the spread. I don't know if we go much higher than that, but I like the Bulls tonight plus the points against Boston, and Mindy likes the under. Jazz and Rockets. This one's down to a pick. Here's a total that's actually dropped from 233 to 231.
Yeah, because the under is 9-4 in the last 13 meetings. Under is also 4-1 last 5 Houston. Then you have Rockets. They're kind of struggling a little bit. 15th in points scored, 25th in field goal percentage. And then if you take a look, you got a team like the Jazz that is 24th in turnovers. So that means a lot of missed shots, a lot more possessions. I think because of that, it'll keep this score down here as well. So I like the under.
Absolutely, Mindy. This game's going under. I would think these two teams always go under pretty much when they face one another. A heavy series trend to the under between these two teams. So Houston 0-3 start, Utah 3-0 start. Like we said, who would have thought Utah 3-0, not only straight up but against the spread as well. Teams are combined to go 4-2 to the over, but I don't know. This number seems a little high for sure. I mean, I had 224 as my low window. That's probably, might want to throw the low number off. Just sometimes when you see that's what I do sometimes, because you got to figure your number could be a little off. But here's Boom says coming in.
Super cool uniforms, so take them.
Boop says Jazz and under is actually leaning Houston myself, and might even be on Houston when it's all said and done. I don't know if it'll make it to my premium, but Houston is my favorite side. But I really do like this under, Mindy. So we do have our second consensus premium in the NBA tonight. We're going under in the game between Utah and Houston. Jay, it's good to see you. Man, what a fan. What a fan we got. All right. Consensus play under Utah and Houston.
Yeah, and we'll cover hockey next. But yeah, we got the over here has hit in 18 of the last, couple, 25 games. That's more than a couple. Went over 18 of 25 in the Trailblazers here off of a win. Over also 9-4 in the last 13 meetings here in Portland. I'll take the over.
Okay, I just, got us a better number if you want to go over, that's for sure. I mean, this one opened as high as 231. I'm not so sure about, you're getting a great price, that's for sure. I'm kind of steamy with the sharps, I think, here in this one, Mindy. I don't know if I can recommend it dropping as fast as it is right now. I'm not going to go against you, I think, because
no challenge today yet, Ramon.
well, no, yeah, just because of that fact. I think for me, I think for me, I'm going to look towards the Portland side here, getting these now 5 points at home. Portland is, what can you say so far? 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread. They are 3-0 to the under as well. Whether or not we can actually put them in a category as a defensive team, I think that's something that'll be determined as the numbers shake out. I mean, Portland obviously would have a lot to prove to play a championship level defense at this point, but I don't know, been pretty good series for Denver. I'm gonna have to buck that. Denver's covered 5 out of the last 6 meetings, but Mindy, 20 of the last 28 in the series have gone over, so that does benefit your case as well. So I'm on Portland, and Mindy is on the over in this one, and got Boop coming in. He's on Denver, so we're against each other there on that one.
You guys get to arm wrestle it today.
Yep. Denver, definitely a good series for Denver in this one. So, all right, Mindy, we end up with 2 premiums, huh?
We got Magic Knicks under 220, Jazz Rockets under 231.
All right, well, we'll figure it out from there. But again, we're doing pretty well. So, all right, gonna head on to the ice.
Here we go.
We have a request for some hockey.
We do.
I figured everyone's here for the hockey at this point, the way we're going on the show. So I don't know what it is. Is it our numbers? Is it the handicaps? Who knows? But let's head on over and take a look at these games. I'm going to load up the goalies too to see. No, I don't think there's been any confirmation of these goalies so far. These are the consensus goalies weighing from a couple of different sites, including fantasy sources, to who will be the goaltenders. But the odds are definitely going to be accurate. I'll call them up here and make any changes as necessary as we roll through this card and get started. All right, Mindy. Sorry, dear. All right. Here we go. Washington and New Jersey will start us off, and New Jersey's a favorite. $1.20, 6.5 over 15.
Yeah, so these Capitals, they're 3-3 now after 4-3 win against Los Angeles, and the Devils 3-2 after a 2-1 win over San Jose Sharks. The last 3 out of 4 games between these two have been to the over. I like over 6.5 in this one, Ramon.
I think I got to agree with you. I think we'll get on a consensus play right away. I mean, Washington 0-2 so far on the road. Look, Washington dominated this series of late with including the 4-game playoff sweep back 2 years ago. So I don't know. I had several of my numbers pointing to a 7 in this game, and hasn't quite even approached that at all. So I think it's a great price, and I think we could easily see 7 goals here. Give us a premium consensus play: Washington and New Jersey to go over.
Consensus play.
All right, right away on
We
the
did
ice.
it. We're
Hey,
going. Going for
right?
it.
We get more than 2 or 3. I might throw in a parlay even tonight. I don't know. Get crazy.
That would be too crazy.
Dallas and Ottawa here. Dallas is Dallas. I'm showing now Dallas a slight favorite, maybe as high as $1.15
Yeah, I did
at
see
some
that.
spots. Yeah.
Yeah. The Stars, they're off to a really good start this season. 4-0-1. Their last game was a 5-2 win over Montreal. Senators, as we know, I don't know, coming off maybe one of the hottest teams here in the NHL here to start the season, just scoring a ton of goals. They're on a 3-game win streak. The last one was that 6-2 win over Arizona. Last, 3 out of 4 games for the Stars and Senators have been to the under, though. So I'm going to look that way. I'm still going to go under. I think, Dallas for sure will bring this total down, even if you have this Senators team that wants to, put up the points.
Yeah. I wish it. I don't know if it's going to go much higher, and I kind of wish it would. I think I have a strong enough recommendation on the under to still get on it with you at 6/20 or so, Mindy. I thought that there might be some normal 6.5s out there. That's what I was hoping for. Ottawa's obviously looked good at home with a 3-0 record so far. Dallas has a 2-0-1 road record. Ottawa won both games last year, but I like Dallas today. I think I might even make my card, but I think it will be an under, and I think Oden just looked good. Ever since late last season, he's done a pretty nice job. We'll see if it's Odinger and Forsberg, but let's do it. Let's go under. Really, it has one of my stronger ratings. I just was really wishing the number was a little bit higher, but at least at 6, we can get even money or plus 105. So we got 2 right away.
We did.
2 plays right away. What do we got? Yep. All right. St. Louis and Winnipeg. And in this one, St. Louis is favored. Yeah, about maybe $1.15, 6.5 under 20. This one looks right on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's lots of, looks like pretty close ones here today. Blues beat Edmonton 2-0 their last game, while the Jets lost to Toronto 4-1 or 1-4, whichever you want to say. Blues have the top-ranked defense in the league. They only give up, 5 goals in the first 3 games? I'm going to take the under 6.5 here in this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number at 6.5. St. Louis, they look real sharp, and they might have a big performance here. That's the only thing I think that's going to kind of keep me off that with you there. I think St. Louis comes with it today, and boy, I really, 4-3, 5-3. To me, I like St. Louis today. That's going to be my play. They've won 2 on the road so far out of those 3 wins. It's been a good series for Winnipeg. They've won 5 out of the last 6 meetings, but man, St. Louis looks really good so far. I know it's tough. You're going to have another road game. It's at Winnipeg, but taking St. Louis here is my free play. Mindy's on that under 6.5. Pittsburgh and Edmonton. Edmonton, yeah, $1.20, 6.5 over 35.
Yeah, so I mean, this one is the via request via the chat. Penguins are on the 2-game win streak with wins over Columbus 6-3, Los Angeles 6-1. Oilers, on the other hand, 2-3, lost their last one to St. Louis, got shut out 2-0. The Penguins are leading the league in scoring. They got 26 goals. Third in the league in goals against with only 11. I like the Penguins here in this one today, Ramon.
Penguins are just, Penguins are back to Penguinos. I'm gonna bust out my 1986 starter jacket. The old school penguin on it.
With the shine, the
Uh,
shimmer and shine.
yeah, it's got the
Yeah.
shinies. It's got the little 4-0-1 start, 4-1 against the puck line. They've gone over in 4 of 5. This one will probably go over as well. I mean, Edmonton won both meetings last year. But man, Pittsburgh just looks too good right now, especially as an underdog here, or
Right.
even money or better. Call me crazy, whatever. We're on it.
We're both crazy then.
I gotta take Pittsburgh today in this one. They're just looking so hot right now, for sure. All right, Toronto and VGK here. Toronto, they're a $1.15, 6.5 over 30.
Yeah, Maple Leafs here won 2 in a row, 3-2. They've defeated, Dallas on the last one out, and then they had the 4-1 win over Winnipeg. Knights have lost 2 of 3, with their last game being that 2-3 loss to Colorado. Have been playing decent. I think off to a better start maybe than we anticipated. But out of the last 10 games with these two teams, the under is 8-2. I'm going to go under in this one in Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Toronto, what can you say? They've been a solid under so far. I worry because I think that Toronto might put up some goals here a little bit. Both teams are 4-2, and then Toronto, they just seem to give up goals. Also, they play well, but they kind of end up letting the team back in. And when you're up against Vegas, Toronto won them both last year. I think they're favored on the road for a reason. I'm going to take Toronto as my free play here against the Golden Knights tonight. All right, one more on the ice with Carolina and Vancouver. Interested to hear what you have to say on this one because I'm kind of torn at this point. So maybe you can finalize my decision by agreeing with whatever I have written here. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, both teams come in on losing streaks. Was on the Hurricanes last time, but they lost last 2-3 to Calgary. Canucks, I think they haven't won a game yet this season, and they lost to Edmonton. Calgary, they are ranked 5th in goals against, only allowing 12 goals this season. I think Calgary, I mean, I think the Hurricanes here, they'll probably be able to, I think, win this game, but I'm going to take the under 6.5 goals here in this one.
Yeah, I kind of was hoping for a little bit higher number there with the total. You see the 6.5. Oh, let me kind of fix that there. The 6.5 under 15. I'll just really nitpicking myself here as far as how that looks, but again, I was, I lean under. I'm not sold so much on it. I was hoping that it would be actually my kind of had it at 6.5 over as my total, and even some of the model came out at 7, and I was ready to go on the under on that one. But I think for me, Carolina looks like the side here against Vancouver. Look, I know that right now Vancouver, they're definitely struggling a little bit. It's been a home dominated series, no doubt about it. Carolina's won like one time here in like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. But the fact that Vancouver doesn't have a win yet, Carolina seems to be playing pretty good defense. I'm going to take Carolina as my free play, and Mindy will go under.
Sounds good, Ramon.
All right, that's our hockey. And, well, we had 3 premiums, so maybe we have a 5-pack of play today. I don't know.
Yeah, so we had the Capitals, Devils over 6.5 goals, Stars, Senators under 6, and then the Penguins on the money line.
All right. Sounds like winners. The way things have been going. Don't want to jinx it.
Yeah. Oh, it says, hey, this is Carrie Davis. Oh, under the pseudonym J. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we talked about that because Ramon definitely wanted to be, I gave my pick as the plus, on the puck line. And Ramon's like, oh man, I wish you would have went full steam ahead on that one. And yeah, so it was fun. It was a good game. I wish we would have played it full on the money line, but it's me. I'm a little bit more of a conservative bettor, only because I like to give myself as many chances to win, as possible on those. So that's how I also give out my free bets. And so yeah, I mean, I liked it. I wish we would have went in on it full steam, but I think we'll definitely take that win. And if for some reason, they lose by a goal after being up, because they're notorious for that too, we would have won either way. So yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, with all due respect to, one man's pittance is another man's fortune or woman's
Right.
fortune at this point. So whatever you play on it, but I always recommend actually if you're actually playing some relatively serious money in the games that you do spread a little bit on, a little bit of puck line, maybe even a little bit of reverse line, and give yourself full coverage. Also adds to a little bit of your excitement, and then it kind of cuts out that I won or lost hard line. It's tough in NHL because you do deal with some, but you can buy the price a little bit and make it just one goal when you put a little bit of money line and a little bit of laying a goal and a half or vice versa and things like that. So, but that's if you're playing, several $100s a game. Can I say that on the air? I don't know. Check the gambling laws in your region before. Anyways, we're going to start our college football coverage for this week with the early games that start on what is it Wednesday this week?
I can remember what's 10/27. What are for? So that would be in 3 more days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, Thursday next week. It's next week we start to get into the funky.
The Whack Attack Wednesday.
Yeah, I think Tuesday even starts next week. So, anyways, yeah, these will be games for Thursday and Friday. 3 games on Thursday, 2 games on Friday, and we'll get right into the coverage with 5 games to kick us off this week in college football. I don't think the card was that great this week, so maybe that's where we'll find our winners in this mediocre
not
card.
so great
Yeah,
part of the week. Yeah.
Especially can't wait to talk to you about the Iowa game against Northwestern. I see the total's 35, and I'm like, 35 what?
35 minutes waiting in line for a beer, perhaps.
I mean, the score's gonna be like 17-10, isn't it? Okay, let's get this started off with Virginia Tech and NC State. This was definitely 13.5. I'm showing 39.5 though.
Yeah, I mean NC State, they're 5-2 coming off the game to that tough loss to Syracuse. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, they lost 4 in a row. Their last game being that 14-20 loss to Miami. We talked about Tech, quite a few times. They're kind of struggling in offensive efficiency. Have trouble scoring, only 19 points a game. Which ranks them 225th in the NCAA. It's not a real good stat to have here. NC State, they're 7-1 against the spread their last 8 following that straight up loss. I like NC State here to definitely cover by 2 touchdowns.
All right, yeah, laying too big of a number for me. I'm laying too big of a number for me there. I could maybe do it if it was maybe, I don't know, 11.5 or 12. I think, but NC State, what can you say? They do a nice job. They're 5-2. Virginia Tech's 2-5, but both are 2-5 against the spread. So that's what worries me about NC State covering a number here. Even though I don't know, Virginia Tech's covered the last 5 meetings as well. So Virginia Tech 1-6 to the under so far. That's good enough for me at 39.5, and my bulk of my number says 37 points. So give me the under in this game, and Mindy's going to take NC State. All right. Louisiana Lafayette.
You're doing it. The Raging Cajuns.
I keep doing it. I think I actually have the wrong favorite listed here, though. Louisiana's the favorite by 1 point. The total's 43.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are 4-3 on the season. Each have won their last 2. Louisiana beat Arkansas State 38-18. Southern Miss beat that same Arkansas State team, but only 20-19. So a barn burner there. But the favorite, they're 4-0 all time in this matchup between these two teams. I'm gonna go the Ragin' Cajuns by a field goal here.
All right, yeah, both teams 5-2 against the spread. Louisiana's covered 8 straight games against teams that are 500 or above. So that does bode well for your cause, I would say there. For me, boy, I'm not so sure. I was hoping to get involved with the total, but man, uh, now at 43, that's falling right in my window there. Just going to take a pass, I'm afraid, at this point.
And pass, Ramon. Next.
I'm the only one who passes here, Mindy. Thank goodness you got a play on that. I probably have passed about one out of
only
every
like 3 times in 2 months. That was it.
three
It's
times.
not
this
as
week.
much as you seem to think.
No, 3 times this weekend. But, just not sure what to do. I think what happened, when I typed in the spread all wrong, maybe I got a little
all totally out of control.
Yeah, and I didn't know what was going on. So
I'll give you a pass as well.
Okay. Let's get on with Utah and Washington State. Maybe we can come up with something here. Utah is an 8-point favorite, and the total's 56 for sure.
Yeah, Utah, just beat up on USC. What? A whole by one whole point, 43-42. 562 yards of offense, 30 first downs, averaging 7.4 yards per play. Washington State, on the other hand, they lost 2 in a row, only scored 24 points in each of those, total in each of those 2 games. Washington State, I know that they're better at home than on the road, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough against this Utah team. Utah's 5-1 against the spread, their last 6 following an ATS loss, and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 Thursday games. So yeah, I'm going to take Utah here to win and cover.
No, I'm down with that. I mean, I've got Utah by double digits in most of the model. I have to agree with you. I think Utah, they're more elite than not. Really, at this point, they're the team that can score. Washington State, continuously is not putting up enough points I would think to stay in this game. Series has gone under in 5 of the last 7 meetings, so. I don't know. I think Utah looks pretty safe actually here. Probably would have been a premium, but after that last flaky pick on the ULL game, I'm going to go with Utah with you.
Well, it's kind of funny how Washington State's kind of had that strange turn of events, because when they came out, right off the bat there and beat Wisconsin, everyone's like, "Whoa, look at that, Washington State, taking out a Big Ten powerhouse," and then. Wisconsin then has continued to struggle ever since that win. So I wonder if it had, the same kind of adverse effect on each of those schools in its own, separate way.
Well, you see the great game that they had this past weekend. I mean, and again, where USC stood and the whole thing in Utah, and quite frankly, the resurgence of the Pac-12. Say what you will. I mean, they've definitely, probably having a better season than they have over the last couple of seasons, even, to sneak their nose in there a little bit to try to get somewhere in the mix for the BCS Final Four if any of those teams could survive. So maybe the Pac-12 is a little bit up. You got the movement of the big surprise with USC and UCLA moving to the Big 12. You would think a team like Utah could easily go right along with them. Utah and Oregon, it would seem like a no-brainer actually for those 2 teams to leave the rest to fend for themselves. Those are the 2 programs I would think in the Pac-12. So, I think we have Utah borderline elite and Washington State is not. So Utah should win this game handily, unless they're overlooking it somehow. So we got a premium there.
Premium consensus play.
All right, let's get to Friday now. BYU a 3-point favorite against ECU. Oh, it's the first meeting, or haven't met in a long time. I don't know, but BYU, you got that unique schedule.
Yeah, BYU. They're just picking and choosing. They can cherry pick whichever teams they would like this season. East Carolina, they won 2 in a row. They beat Memphis 47-45, UCF 34-13. BYU, on the other hand, has lost 3 in a row with a 14-41 blowout loss to Liberty, which I believe we were on Liberty. BYU struggles, continue here on the defensive side, which is kind of interesting because they've kind of always been known for, staunch defense there, especially with those linebackers, always been tough. They're an older, more mature, more well-rounded team. And just kind of really haven't been seeing that as much out of this BYU team. East Carolina 5-2 against the spread the last 7 road games, 11-5 against the spread in their last 16 overall. While BYU 1-4 against the spread this year doesn't quite seem right. And then also in their last 5 home games now, they're 0-6 against the spread. I'm going to take East Carolina. I think they'll come in motivated. BYU, I don't know why they're struggling, but they're kind of on this downward trend right now.
I want to agree with you, but I just worry about ever going against BYU in a situation like this where unfamiliar teams are unfamiliar with coming into Provo. That's what bothers me. But yeah, BYU. I mean, to be 2-6 against a number and to have failed, 6 straight games now. So for me, ECU 1-4, the under off of a straight up win. This one I have more towards the mid to high 50s for sure. 61.5 looks like a I don't want to say a bad number. I mean, I'd be just saying that I know better than anybody else. But most of my window is well under this, Mindy. I don't have anything close to 61.5, really. I've got to go under in ECU and BYU.
I'll star that for wacky play.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind an alternative, but if you do so, I would say, under 59.5 or 58.5, but I wouldn't go much crazier than that. Louisiana Tech and Florida International, and this one's down now. I'm showing a lot of action on Florida International. Maybe it's 8, maybe it's 7.5. The total's up to 59.
Okay. La Tech, lost their last one against Rice, but we've talked about how Rice has been a decent team this year. But they only lost to them by, 1 point. So I don't know if that made too much of a difference in my mind. We knew it was going to be a tough one, I think, going into that one. I had, Florida International, again, I always say that I took them as a prop bet this season to win over 3 games. We're getting real close. Florida International won their last game over Charlotte 34-15. Both are struggling here. FIU is 233rd in scoring and only averages 18 points a game while giving up 33. I still think Louisiana Tech here should be able to bounce back and be able to score some here against FIU.
All right. I don't know. This is pretty ugly game, certainly. Louisiana Tech's been putting up those points, you mentioned it, but FIU has big time troubles scoring, right? So for me, I think that's kind of where I'm looking. I think this game will be more towards the mid 50s or so. I've got to like this one. I think under the total. FIU is 2-5 to the under so far to kind of go opposite of what Louisiana Tech has done so far. Louisiana Tech 1-7 against the spread off of a spread win. So that does kind of concern me as well. Louisiana Tech is 0-4 straight up on the road. So just trying to confirm maybe what if I have that spread. I said it went up, but I'm also seeing some 6s out there too. Like, oh yeah. So I'm showing some 6.5s out there with Louisiana Tech actually. So why don't you give yourself at least 7, if not 6.5. I think anybody can check around on some of these books right now and see that the move is coming in, and it's a pretty
Yeah,
sharp move. I got
I
to be honest with you. It's an extremely sharp move that does come in within the last 90 minutes on Florida International. But again, these are the sharps. I mean, Florida International is absolutely dreadful. We know that. So I'm going to end up, uh, uh, for me, boy, I'm going to have to take another pass, Mindy, on 2 of the 5 games. I need more research on that after seeing this move, and also seeing a pretty sharp move. I'll tell you what. I 50. I like the under. I can definitely come in on the under. Like I said, I have it modeled out mid to high 50s. I think at 59, I can definitely give out the under. I'm sorry I missed that.
No, that's okay.
It's actually a pretty strong play. Looking at my numbers, I just looked at it incorrectly. It's actually a very strong play. It probably would have been qualified for a premium. Just can't get on Louisiana Tech. That's why I'm pivoting, and I'm going with under as my free play. Mindy goes with Louisiana Tech. All right. Good show, Mindy, on the free picks. Rapid fire. Let's go to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. What do you expect to be doing today?
Yeah, so if you go to my all cappers page is where you will find me. But yeah, I put out a 3-pack of my best bets. So I did a best bet in not MLB, the NFL, NHL, and NBA. Then I also packaged each of those. I'm playing 5 games in the NBA and 5 games in the NHL.
Whoa.
So I put those in 5 packs for you as well. So again, we do guarantee all of our picks because we don't want to put, just trash picks out there just to sell. So if we don't win 3 out of the 5, you get credits back on your account because we want you to have a winning situation. And then, I don't get paid for my service either because, again, we're in the business of giving you winners. That is our job. And so we do the best that we can in order to use my handicapping skills and Ramon's handicapping skills. And then we mesh them together where if you don't want to just go with the Mindy picks on the day, you can get the Mindy and Ramon picks for the morning steam. But of course, you guys get all of the picks here for free. We let you guys know that in advance. All of our picks that we have in consensus, all we do is we repackage those for those that can't watch us on YouTube every day. So we do make some sales on the website that way also. And otherwise you can go ahead and get Ramon. He's also been really hot in NHL, NBA, NFL especially. So take a look at some of Ramon's picks there today as well. Ramon, I think you're still on mute.
Yeah, you saw Mindy's record there, some pretty strong records, and take a look at some of the damage I've done here. Over the last 7 days, up 1,400 units. So hopefully any $100 player, that means you're up 1,400 units, and you could do the math. If you're, if you're a nickel player, up 7 dimes. So pretty good. And take a look. Let me see. I'll click up on the last 30 days. NHL up a dime. NBA up a nickel so far. College football up almost a nickel. CFL, I'm on a 4-game winning streak. MMA looking good as well. So good numbers. NHL 7-day. How about that one? 12-3, up almost a dime. So I'll have premiums today as well in the NBA and NHL. But we got plays with the morning steam team. If you missed our play, you can go right on over, and we'll have these loaded up as well from the show today. But take a look at that, Mindy, what we've done up and down.
Well, that's the thing. We want to do this so everything is transparent and documented. I mean, I know you guys follow us every day because you have so many of the folks that are like, well, you guys never go over your records of what you guys do. I'm like, well, because we're always churning the numbers for the next day. So we don't always have that look back. But right here's our look back of everything that we've done. So hopefully you guys can have plenty of confidence in us and in our picks. And we appreciate you checking out our show, and make sure you tell your friends about us as well.
I know I track every single pick, win or lose. I might not give the record. There's a lot of
Right.
plays. We try to give
Right.
something out on every game. And again, I know a lot of people that just say, "Hey, pass on every game," but these lines are at a fine point, you know. And all you got to do is be really just a couple of decimals one way or the other, and you can formulate a lean. Give someone at least a little stat or a tidbit like we do, and they can either tail or fade. But they just, people want just information about a game, and that's kind of what we're giving out here as well, not always just the picks. So, but when we feel strongly enough and come together like we did, these are what we get right here on the morning steam. So we're here giving you these free picks every day. But if you miss them, you can always go over to Tony'sPicks.com and pick up the packages as well. It's $30. You get all the plays, and look at today we have 5 of them there. So really, and don't forget, I mean, it's going pretty much to support the show, to support Minnie and I. If you buy the plays because you missed them, you don't want to go back and look at YouTube, it's benefiting us. If you like us, if you like coming in, maybe do it. If you need to do it once or twice a week or whatever, we really appreciate it. Okay, great job, Mindy. We'll catch you tomorrow. We're going to have more football tomorrow for sure, and of course more NBA, NHL, baseball talk as well. So good job on a Monday. Enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully it'll be better than it looks on paper, or not. Hopefully it'll be ugly and the Patriots will smash them.
Right.
All right.
No, it should be a good game, I think. I do. I think they're finally going to put up some points.
All right. Now get the late score, make it look confident. Fourth quarter touchdown, gets them up by 2 touchdowns.
That's
All right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us, Team Steam.
Take care.